if you're anxiously attached and you keep attracting people who just seem to pull away and distance themselves and can't commit to you, they ghost you, your anxious attachment isn't just making you anxious, but it's making you act like a pick-me. And that energy is literally pushing away the person you are trying so hard to keep. And I know that's harsh to hear. I know that's hard. You're probably feeling defensive or a bit attacked, but by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this keeps happening and what to do about it. So the first thing that I need you to understand and that we need to acknowledge is 99% of your relationship struggles, your relationship pains, your relationship failures comes from wanting to lock down a man or a woman like he's a rare Pokemon and have him never leave you so that you will never get hurt. Now, this makes you a pick-me because of how easily you feel threatened that they might just decide to pack their bags and turn around and say thank you next and move on, right? The relationship feels like a very fragile, unstable thing for you. And what do you end up doing? You put all your attention on the relationship, trying to keep it intact, because to you it's like holding a baby bird in the palm of your hands. You have to really take care of it and really put your attention on it, and that's why you're so obsessed with thinking about the relationship, thinking about the person, because you think that the second you stop putting your attention there, the connection, the relationship is going to completely collapse, right? And you don't realize that doing this is making it a lot worse. So what do you also end up doing? You end up putting a show for them, right? You show them how kind and how selfless, how amazing, how understanding, and how wife material, husband material you are, hoping that they will see how good you are as a person. And you want your goodness to pay off by having them decide that you are the one that they want to spend the rest of their life with. And on a level that you would never admit out loud or to anyone else, being chosen by them, being picked by them feels like the ultimate fantasy, like the final puzzle piece that is missing in your life, and now it's finally in place, and now it's gonna make you complete. That's how you think. And so the desperate strategy underneath is that you are strategizing the best way to keep them hooked, because who knows if another girl, another guy comes along and catches their attention and they decide that they don't want to be with you anymore. You want to show him that you are the best that he's ever gonna get, that you are the juiciest option out there, that you are the person that is going to love him and be there for him unconditionally, in hopes that they will see how good you are and choose you and decide that they want to be with you forever. And I get it, you are not trying to be manipulative. You genuinely care about that person. But the energy behind all of this action, all of this goodness is also pure fear. Fear that if you're not good enough, if you're not perfect enough, if you're not patient enough, if you're not understanding enough, they're going to leave for someone better. And that fear is exactly what's pushing them away. And quite literally, you are attracting what you fear the most. Now, here's a part that's going to sting. The woman that's actually his dream woman, the one that he is deleting his dating apps without being asked to after 3 dates, the one he is introducing to his family, the one that he is asking to put a label on things before you can even bring it up, this woman, she is not even playing the same game, okay? She's not playing the game at all, actually. She is not strategizing. She is not performing. She is not proving. She is just existing, being herself, living her life, and while you are over here unconsciously begging, please choose me, I'll be better than the others, I'll be the best woman you can ever find, I'll love you forever, and I'll always be there for you. This dream woman, she's just casually going about her day completely unbothered as to whether someone chooses her or not. She trusts that the right one will come along and she won't have to work for it. She won't have to work her ass for it. Work her ass off for it. Because when you are adjusting yourself based on his temperature, you're giving him girlfriend, wife energy while he's keeping it very non-committal, very grey with you, very vague with you. and you're accepting where you currently are, even though it's nowhere close to what you actually want, all in hopes that by sticking around, that might make something click for him and make him finally pick you. He can feel it, right? The person that you are doing this with, they can feel it. And they can feel when you are shape-shifting. They can feel when you are performing. They can feel the underlying desperation that is underneath it all, and it makes them want to run. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because desperation, even when it's dressed up as goodness, trying to be good, kindness and understanding and being patient, endlessly patient, that is repelling of people. So why does the anxious attachment bring out the worst in people? Why does it make avoidance more avoidant and secure people feel smothered? I'll tell you why. Because when you're in pick-me energy, you are essentially handing someone all the power, and you are saying that you get to decide if I'm good enough. You get to decide my worth. You get to decide if I'm deserving of love. And your rejection of me means I'm not lovable, so I'm going to do everything in my power to make you pick me, to make you choose me, to make you validate me. And when someone has that kind of power over you, one of two things happens. Number one, either they lose respect for you because clearly you do not respect yourself enough, or they feel suffocated by the pressure of being responsible for your entire emotional state. Nobody wants that pressure. If you think about it, when you are constantly seeking reassurance, constantly trying to prove yourself, constantly trying to prove you're lovable and you're worthy, constantly monitoring the behaviors or signs that they might hurt you, that they might leave, you have made them the center of your entire life and universe, and that is exhausting for the other person. It makes them feel like they can't breathe, like one wrong move and you'll fall apart. Like they're responsible for managing your anxieties and your traumas instead of just enjoying and experiencing and co-creating a mutual, stable relationship with you. So what do? They pull away. They create distance. And they might go cold. And usually it's not because they're terrible people, but because your energy is literally pushing them away, right? And the painful part is this: the more they pull away, the harder you try. The harder you try to close that gap. And the harder you try in getting them to see you and be close to you, the more that they pull away, and the more they want to distance themselves from you. And so you end up in this toxic cycle where it's push and pull, it's hot and cold, where you're both miserable. There's no stable, secure safety in that relationship, and you just cannot figure out how to break it. Now, before you go off and feel like crap for being a pick-me, because I know after hearing all this, you're going to end up blaming yourself and feeling so much shame for not showing up right, for not being healed enough. But hear my words, okay? Hear my next words very carefully. Every single person wants love. Even the dream woman, even the dream man, whatever archetype you are trying to become. Every single human does, and the way that you've been taught to get it has been working against you. And these patterns that you are carrying, they are not yours. They do not start with you. They were learnt. Maybe you watched your mom do this with your dad, or you watched someone do this growing up. Maybe you learned that love is conditional, and that you have to earn it. You have to try really hard and sacrifice yourself to have a crumb of it. Maybe performing for love was the only way you got attention as a kid. Getting good grades, being that good kid. And maybe you had a childhood where being good enough felt like the only control you had in a chaotic environment. And these are all survival mechanisms. They made sense at one point. They kept you safe and surviving, but now you cannot keep surviving. You are now transitioning to thrive. They kept you being connected to your caregiver at one point, because as a child, your survival depends on the connection you have with your mom, with your dad, with your caregiver. But now these patterns are only keeping you stuck. And this is where the responsibility begins. Understanding that you are not broken, you are not unlovable, you are not too much. You just learnt the wrong strategy for getting love. You learned that love is something that you get to experience through effort, through performance, through strategy, through being the good kid, when the truth is real love doesn't require you to prove anything. It doesn't require you to prove how good you are, especially with someone who truly loves you and wants to be with you. And real love just is, right? So while this isn't your fault, it is your responsibility to change it, because no one else is going to do the work for you. No amount of finding the right person or fixating on who you think is the right person will fix this pattern, and you have to address this pattern within you first if you want a genuine change in the dynamic that you experience in the relationships you have with your partners. So how you're going to break out of this pattern is this. I say this in almost all my videos, I swear. So if you're a regular viewer, this might get a bit repetitive for you, but I always emphasize how important it is to build a life that does not revolve around one single person. If your entire sense of okayness depends on whether this person texts you back within 3 hours or not, whether they are happy, whether they had a good day at work or not, whether he's going to stay or not, you have given one person way too much power. So build up your friendships, build up connections with people you trust and people who care about you. Build up your hobbies. Build a career that you care about, that you are passionate about. Work on a project that you are passionate or gives you purpose and meaning in life. Build a relationship with yourself. Because when you have a life that is full, that is like the antidote to relationship struggles as well. One person can now no longer destroy your entire sense of identity just by leaving, just by being stressed, just by being upset, right? And when one person can't destroy you, you stop acting desperate. You stop losing yourself every single time you get into a connection with someone that you feel something towards. Number 2, what you are going to do is you are going to develop a sense of self that is, the sense of worth actually is a better word. A sense of worth that is not conditional, right? Your worth is not something that you need to earn through being good enough. Your value is not something that is derived from being good, from being goodness. The good kid is not something that goes up when you're chosen and goes down when you're rejected, right? Your worth is inherent. Your value is inherent. And you have to, in any way you can, you have to really internalize that truth. It exists. It's not for debate. And when you actually believe that, not just intellectually, but in your nervous system, you stop trying to prove it to other people. And I know some people in the past have said, oh, but nobody is valuable. We don't have any inherent value at all as humans. But guess what? You have free will in this life. You have free will. And what are you going to do with that free will? You are going to believe you are valuable, because what good is it believing that you are not valuable? Where will you go with that belief? Nowhere. You'll end up in a hole, being depressed, being unchosen with that belief. So with your free will, you are going to consciously make the decision to accept and to allow in the reality where you are valuable for just existing. Number 3 on the list is that you need to be okay with rejection. Now, this is probably arguably one of the most challenging and hardest one, but it is the most important one as well. As long as you are terrified of rejection, you are going to do anything to avoid it. And that includes betraying yourself, shrinking yourself, molding yourself, sacrificing yourself, performing, all in the name of love, all in the name for your version of love, which is very painful, a very painful version of love. And when you realize that rejection is not death, that you've survived every rejection before this, and you will survive the next one too, you stop letting fear run the relationship. And what happens when you stop being terrified of rejection is that you stop performing, you stop shrinking yourself, you stop trying so hard to make someone see you. You just exist as yourself fully, and the people who are meant to be, the people who are meant for you, they are going to see that. They are going to choose you. No brainer, full stop. And you won't have to do an ounce of convincing for them to stay. They will stay with their own free will. The people who aren't meant for you, they are going to leave. They are going to be filtered out of your life. And that's actually good, because now you're not wasting time on someone who's never going to choose you anyway. The woman that gets chosen effortlessly, she is not more special than you, she is not more beautiful than you, she is not more interesting or more innately valuable than you. She just has a different relationship with her own worth. She doesn't need someone to validate it. It's already decided, right? She's already decided that her worth is decided, because she's the one that's deciding it. And when you get to that place when your worth is no longer up for debate, and you truly feel that in your body, not just intellectually and logically, when you get to the place where you're not terrified of rejection, when you are living a complete and full life that does not revolve around one person, that is when things start to change for you. So this is my invitation for you to stop performing, stop proving, just for a day if it's hard. For one day, just stop begging to be picked. And ironically, that is when you become the most magnetic version of yourself. Not because you're playing games, not because you're manipulative, not because you're being strategic, but because you are just finally being yourself and understanding that being yourself is enough, because you have internalized your value. So you stop trying to be chosen by someone. Okay, start choosing yourself. Watch how everything shifts, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.